Joshua's a banger. You know, he gets into position, but he's going to have to get into that position because Fury's more versatile. Fury has more say because he could do more things. He could control the outside if he wants.
Even though I think, Joshua would lose against other heavyweights, I think he beats Fury. That's not the case anymore. I think Fury outboxes him and runs him into a shot and probably stops him late. Yep. I see no way Anthony Joshua can beat Fury. I mean, following Jake Paul around, that should have been the major red flag. He couldn't track down Jake Paul with a jab because he was in there with a more mobile guy that didn't want to fight. I get it, but you got to force guys like that to fight. Tyson Fury kind of does that, but he's popping a professional jab in your face. And he's just as tall, even taller, and power is not going to intimidate him. So yeah, Fury, I think 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10, beats Anthony Joshua at this stage of their career.
Teddy Atlas is leaning toward Tyson Fury. Atlas believes Fury will approach Joshua with far more caution than some of his previous opponents, particularly because he understands the danger behind Joshua's punches. At the same time, Atlas refuses to dismiss Joshua's ability to adjust. The former champion has shown throughout his career that he can make changes between fights, meaning Fury would still have to remain disciplined from the opening bell.
Right now it's got to be Fury. All for what I saw. Listen, I don't dismiss the possibility that Joshua could hit Fury a right hand the way Wok did. But I do think Fury will be more aware of the possibility of that, make it a little bit harder than he needed with Wok or Vok or Vok. Whatever. I do. But I also believe that the way I saw Joshua early in the fight, how available he was, if that's fair. And again, he'll be better too.
Adding to the debate, Tony Bello emphasized just how much could change in the heavyweight division if Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury finally meet. In his view, a dominant performance from Joshua could completely shift the perception of the division and establish him as the man to beat. But if Fury returns at his best and delivers a sharp performance, the momentum could swing straight back in his direction. For Bellew, the message is clear. A fight this important cannot afford to wait until the opportunity has passed.
Because we're open to come out a Saturday and Josh, with all due respect, knocks him out in a round or two and doesn't get touched. And then everyone goes, oh my God, AJ's the favourite now because he's knocked him out, he's cleaned him out. And Fury doesn't look great against Vok. And you go, wow, this is really something. But when you see Josh on the floor and when you see Fury not looking really great, it's the perfect example of when the big fight's there to be made, just make it.
That danger hasn't shaken Tim Bradley's confidence in Fury. However, Bradley believes Fury is one of the most intelligent and difficult heavyweights to defeat, pointing to his ring awareness, adaptability, and overall boxing ability. In Bradley's view, trying to outbox Fury could be extremely difficult, leaving a perfectly timed knockout as perhaps the clearest path to victory for Joshua or anyone else in the division.
A prayer and a wish. Come on, a prayer, a wish, hope. You got to knock Tyson Fury out. That's the only way you beat Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury too clever, man. Too smart in and outside the ring, bro. So I really don't see anybody beating him. Not today. The dude ain't even born yet. The dude that's going to beat Tyson Fury ain't even born. So I don't see Usyk beating him. I don't see Joshua beating him. I don't see anybody in the heavyweight division touching Tyson Fury.
And Roy Jones Jr. believes the clock is becoming just as important as the matchup itself. Jones praised Joshua's resilience and his willingness to continue rebuilding after setbacks, but stressed that both heavyweight stars are reaching a stage of their careers where opportunities cannot be taken for granted. After years of anticipation, Jones believes Fury and Joshua need to settle their unfinished business now, while both men still have enough left to make the fight truly special.
I don't know if he get out this first round now, because this would be something special. So I definitely had to think about you on that. And as soon as it happened, I said, oh my gosh. I said, wow. I said, boy, if this was Andre, this would be a problem right now. You feel me? So,
I can't say I didn't think that, man.
I just had to share that with you because it did come over me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Shout out to Joshua, man. He, man. He may go down, but
He overcame.
He gonna always get up if he can.
Yep.
He got a lot of heart, man, and I got a lot of respect for him, man. And I want the Fury fight to happen. I think it got to happen right now, just given where they are in their careers. I don't think they both got a long runway. Like, now's the time. It may be a little overdue, but I still want to see it.
Adam Smith made it clear just how significant this matchup would be for boxing. He expressed genuine excitement over the fight finally becoming a reality, pointing out that fans have been waiting for this heavyweight showdown for years. After so much anticipation, Smith believes the event has all the ingredients to deliver the kind of spectacle boxing fans have been demanding.
I think it's a huge fight. I think it's the biggest fight in British boxing for a long time, maybe in British boxing history. I mean, you've got to go right back, and what are we, nearly 30 years on from Lewis and Bruno. We've had huge fights here, of course, and the likes of Froch and Groves and those, but back to the Ben Eubank days, and I mean, obviously AJ and Klitschko is a huge fight at Wembley, and for many that will be the sort of pinnacle of AJ so far, and it was just a phenomenal fight that sort of followed. But I think in terms of we all love a British rivalry, and we've all waited for this fight.
Amir Khan took that excitement a step further, arguing that the fight belongs in England. With both fighters representing Britain and the matchup carrying years of history and anticipation, Khan believes staging it anywhere outside the UK would take away from the occasion. For him, this is the type of domestic heavyweight rivalry that deserves to happen in front of the fans who have followed both men throughout their careers.
And take from that, the British fans want to see that fight. It's a massive fight, and to have it in England, let's hope it's not going to be taken out to any other country like Saudi Arabia or America. Let's hope that fight happens over here, because it's such a big fight for British boxing. And I think it's only gonna, it'll be a sellout wherever it happens. But and if is it gonna happen? 50-50 really. I think both fighters have to have a sit down.
Khan leaned toward Tyson Fury. He pointed to Fury's combination of experience, size, technical ability, and power as the qualities that could ultimately separate him from Joshua. Khan clearly respects what Joshua brings to the table, but believes Fury has the more complete overall skill set heading into a fight of this magnitude.
Well, let's say it does happen. Let's say the fight takes place. Now the difficult question, who would you tip to win?
I mean, you put me on the spot there. Look, if I was to pick someone, I think I do lean a little bit more towards Fury. I think Fury is the full, complete fighter. He is a good boxer.
Joe Calzaghe reached a similar conclusion. The former undefeated champion acknowledged that Anthony Joshua is an extremely difficult fighter to beat, but still gave Fury the slight advantage. Calzaghe's prediction reflects just how competitive the matchup appears on paper, rather than seeing one fighter as clearly superior. He believes Fury simply possesses enough advantages to edge out the victory.
If Joshua and Fury were to fight, it's going to be a tough one, but to be honest, I probably fancy Fury. I fancy Fury because I think that he has more dimensions. I'm not calling Joshua one-dimensional, but what I'm saying is with Fury, he can mix it up. I mean, he can come forward, he can go backwards, he can fight, he can box, and he's extremely fast for such a big guy. And then, like I said, 2 kills, and I think Fury. But there's the 2 heavyweights, as hit each other on the chin, but. Yeah, Joshua's a top fighter, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick Fury.
Meanwhile, Richard Towers, who has actually shared the ring with both Fury and Joshua, offered a unique perspective. Having experienced their abilities firsthand, Towers showed respect for both heavyweights and refused to underestimate Joshua based on his recent performance against Jake Paul. Whatever happened in that fight, Towers made it clear that Joshua remains a dangerous heavyweight, and facing Tyson Fury would be an entirely different challenge altogether.
I've got respect for Joshua, I've got respect for Tyson. Whether, that fight signifies, Joshua's last fight signifies whether he's the man of the hour or not, I don't know about that. But what I'd say is, he's world level, and you can't look past it, because when you look past it, you get put on close to death.
Furthermore, Jason Statham also leaned toward Tyson Fury. While acknowledging the excitement surrounding an all-British heavyweight showdown, Statham ultimately felt Fury would be the safer pick. In his view, Fury simply appears to have the better chance of having his hand raised when the two finally meet.
Combat sports all day.
Who would you back to win, Tyson or AJ?
Well, you know, I know Tyson Fury, and I think he's been a great champ, so my money's on him.
However, Dillian Whyte refused to make the same call. He believes the matchup is far too close to confidently predict. He expects both Fury and Joshua to enter the fight fully prepared and performing at their best, which could turn the contest into an extremely competitive battle where neither man has an obvious advantage.
Dude, we'll do one in the ring and one in the cage, because I ain't one of those guys that say, oh, I just want to do it on my terms. No, I'm out here trying to make history. If I can beat him in the ring and beat him in the cage, then I'll be the greatest combat athlete of all time. And that's what I'm about. But I come from kickboxing. I had 5 MMA fights. So I'm all right. I can take him and so. But Francis is active in the cage. He's a top heavyweight, even putting people to sleep. But I'm like, where is
David Haye, meanwhile, found another reason to favor Fury. He pointed to Joshua's recent 6-round fight with Jake Paul, arguing that the performance exposed certain weaknesses in Joshua's style. Haye believes a fighter with Fury's experience, movement, and ring intelligence would be capable of identifying those openings and exploiting them much more effectively than Paul could.
With Fury, so many people think Fury's got an easy night's work. They really do. And going on his last couple of performances, that makes sense. And Anthony needs to do something very different in this fight. He can't come into the fight with the same mindset, trying to do this boxing thing that clearly isn't what his forte is. So physically, he's got the tools. I said it before. He's got the tools to beat anybody. He just needs to learn how to engage the tools and to be able to maximize his physical attributes.
Andy Ruiz Jr. also sided with Fury, particularly after watching Joshua's latest performance. Ruiz admitted that what he saw made it difficult for him to confidently back Joshua, while Fury's overall skill set and ability to adapt remained major reasons for his prediction. Having already shared the ring with Joshua himself, Ruiz's perspective adds another interesting layer to the debate.
Joshua versus Tyson Fury looks like it's closing in. I want to get your thoughts on this huge mega fight between these two. What do you think?
I think that's going to be an interesting fight. I fought Anthony Joshua. I haven't fought Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has a weird style. He's tall. He fights tall, Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of see Tyson Fury winning that fight. I wasn't too impressed with Anthony Joshua's last performance, but he got the job done, and move on to the next.
And despite being one of the few fighters to have actually defeated both men, Oleksandr Usyk focused less on picking a winner and more on the significance of the matchup itself. Usyk described Fury Joshua as the kind of fight that simply needs to happen, emphasizing the excitement and intrigue it would create for boxing fans around the world.
Sander, could I just ask you one question? What's your opinion on the potential of an Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury fight? That would be huge for British boxing. What would you make of that fight? You've obviously been in there with them.
I think it's a good idea. It's a great fight, I think.
Beyond the predictions, Anthony Joshua has already begun putting the work in as he prepares for a potential return, and his comeback carries a much deeper sense of purpose following the recent tragedy. After an experience that reportedly left him shaken, Joshua has returned to the familiar rhythm of the gym, where the focus is once again on discipline, repetition, and rebuilding. And the possibility of finally facing Tyson Fury adds another layer of motivation. After years of talk surrounding the all-British heavyweight showdown, Joshua now has a potential career-defining opportunity sitting in front of him. Every session carries greater importance as he works to make sure that if the Fury fight becomes reality, he is ready for the biggest challenge of his career.
4, 5, 4. Let's go. Come on. Push. One more. Don't touch it.
The criticism surrounding his performance against Jake Paul has only added fuel to that motivation. Many expected Joshua to end the fight early, but when the bout went deeper than anticipated, questions immediately followed about whether he was still capable of performing at the highest level. Now, Joshua has something to prove not only to the critics, but potentially to himself.
Need to get stronger.
Inside the gym, the emphasis appears to be on sharpening the details that can make the difference against an elite heavyweight. Timing, accuracy, movement, and punch selection are becoming just as important as raw power. Rather than simply trying to overwhelm opponents, Joshua and his team are focused on refining the tools that made him a two-time heavyweight champion.
Let me know. I got you. Well, let them know.
So that one was last week, correct? So, you know what you do for me? Expand it.
On the other hand, Tyson Fury has also stepped back into training camp as he prepares to face Arslanbek Makhmudov, fully aware that he is returning from retirement and cannot afford any slip-ups. Fury understands the importance of delivering a convincing victory.
We did a nice 4-mile run this morning, and then we did a nice 15 rounds of boxing, 500 abs tonight. I've had a nice massage and a nice bath afterwards.
Fury also recognizes that a loss could jeopardize a massive future clash with Anthony Joshua, a fight he has long been linked to. With that in mind, he is pushing himself harder to ensure success on April 11. A win on that date would not only secure momentum, but also strengthen his legacy, paving the way for the highly anticipated Joshua Showdown. At the beginning of this training camp, Fury's sessions were relatively light and rhythmic, allowing his body to ease back into form. However, as the fight draws closer, his intensity has significantly increased. Each session now includes grueling drills designed to rebuild endurance, sharpen reflexes, and ensure he is fully conditioned after more than a year away. Furthermore, Fury's power has always been admired across the boxing world, and he is focusing heavily on refining it further. Alongside strength, he is working on timing, accuracy, and punch selection. With his team, he is not only preparing physically, but also developing smart strategies to defeat Makhmudov convincingly and move one step closer to facing Joshua.
That's a fact. He's dangerous, I understand that. And everyone will be saying, you know what, you gotta really take this guy seriously. But he knows he's in there with a legend of a fighter, and when he gets in there on the night, he's going to realise how much of a legend I am, because, you know, he fought over in Britain recently, and he fought Dave Allen and went 12 rounds, but Dave's me pal, the White Rhino, but if he thinks it's anything like that, that's like swimming in a garden pond and then trying to swim across the Atlantic Ocean in bad weather. It's totally different. And I'm looking to put on a show. I want an explosive knockout. and I believe I'm going to get that April 11th. I'm going to knock him spark out.
Beyond physical strength and punching power, Nelson believes the Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury rivalry will be about far more than what happens once the opening bell rings. After years of waiting, he says both fighters have grown through victories and setbacks, making the build-up and psychological battle just as important as the action itself. In his view, the fighter who can get inside the other's head first could gain a major advantage before landing a single punch. The training, preparation, and mental battle will all be crucial when these two heavyweight stars finally meet.
We've always wanted to see it. It's 5 years behind. You know, we've always wanted to see it. And so we're going to, regardless, we're going to make the most of what we see, what we get from both fighters. You hear rumours of what happened in the gym previously, but that's nothing now. They were boys then, they're men now. They've had experiences of losses. They've had that experiences of highs. So now these guys have got to, they need each other to bring the best out of each other. And the fight with those two will not just be when the first bell goes. The fight with those two will be from the build up to the fight itself, and how one fight can get into the head of the other, how one fighter's persona needs to intimidate the other, because that's what you call gamesmanship. It's how you start to dissect your opponent before you've even landed a shot.
Who do you think wins, Joshua or Fury? Drop your prediction in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing news and updates.